Arsenal win 2-1 at Forest, 3 points we needed. I can't remember, Tanvi, where you were on the debate in the starting 11 about whether we needed a performance as well as the result. And if we did we get that?
I said we needed a result and a performance. I think we got the result and 50% of the performance.
I hear it.
I don't want to say like we performed incredibly, there's no criticisms, we don't have things to work on, because we do. But in hindsight, I do think overall we played well, we dominated, and like a win is a win. It was such an important game for us to win, and I'm so happy we got those 3 points at this stage of the league, but also before Sunday against Liverpool.
Yeah, and that's crucial. We'll get to Liverpool in a little bit, because I do think that is part of the narrative of this game, is how it set us up for that. But the performance was funny, because I actually think I've done a few fan cams, and the more I sit on it, I'm like, you know what? Actually, you go away from home, you largely control all elements. We created enough to maybe get, nick a third or a fourth, maybe. And actually, you think, well, away at Forest, which I was saying was a tough game, what am I complaining about?
Yeah, I think we're being a bit selfish, because I wanted to be excited and watch the Arsenal I know and love. And I think that's why I was complaining so much, being like, this is boring, we're not creating enough chances. But ultimately, we dominated and we were in control. I think someone said it in the watch-along, but it was like, dominant but dull. It was a dull dominance. But I'd rather have that than it be like chaotic and panicking and we're doing stupid things, albeit we did do something silly and concede really last minute. But I would rather us dominate, it be a little bit dull, and then we're patient with it. Like, this was such a game where we had to be patient and wait, keep the control, take the chances, and then obviously convert the chances when we needed to. I would just prefer not to wait 60 minutes for us to score a goal. I just would have preferred that happen a bit sooner. But yeah, we do like to make things a bit difficult for ourselves, don't we?
And also, I don't think that's an unreasonable request, because it does feel like as the game gets later, we do up it slightly. I'm like, why didn't you up it earlier? But then I get it, because they're worried about what comes the other way, and I hear all that to a degree. Let's talk about the players that shone today, because in what was a performance as a team, I think maybe divides opinions. Some will say boring, but we found a way. Some will say, listen, away from home, lots of positives. I think there were some players that certainly came out with plenty of positives. Sort of your top three, or your kind of rating from the match?
Top three, I've got to give Jesus number one spot. He was man of the match for a reason. I was slating him 5 minutes before. I'll hold my hands up. Yeah. But no, the way he finished that first goal, assisted the second, it shows us what he can bring. Yeah. He might not always be finishing the goals as well, but the way he assists and controls that play in that final third, I think makes such a difference. I also want to say Zinchenko. Mm-hmm. I think he had a good game. I've personally been a heavy critic of Zinchenko, so it was nice to see him be a bit more dominant on the ball, and also his through balls, his vision, I think, is really, really good. Yeah, and the third, do you know what? I'm going to give it to Saka. I still don't think he's at his best, but I'm glad he scored, and I think that was kind of a little confidence boost he needs, especially with the amount of pressure he has every single game. Yeah. So those are probably my top three. Yeah,
and I'm actually really glad you mentioned Saka. The other player I was thinking of was Rice, because he just did his job in midfield so well. But I actually do agree with Saka, because he's got such a tough job, him and Martinelli take on their fullbacks all the time. I felt in the first half he got the better of his fullback a lot, but then he gets the second goal. Then he was part of the back heel to Ødegaard to Jesus that creates the big chance. And I thought, he had a big part to play. And yes, he's not at his best, but isn't that just testament to the amazing standards he's set over the years and the potential we believe he has, that he can get an assist, beat his man a few times, create chances, and we're going, yeah, but there's more to come.
Yeah, if that's Saka at his mid-level performance, I'm okay with it, especially against Nottingham Forest. It's just we need him to step up against a team like Liverpool. That's when I'm expecting the Saka that we kind of know and love. So I do want more. I don't want him to settle for where he is now, but I still think a really good performance from him today.
Yeah, agreed. Liverpool on the weekend. Did the performance build enough momentum and belief, or do you think doesn't matter, we just needed 3 points at home, we will find that spark we need?
This is why I said on the watch-along I wanted a performance. I wanted a convincing performance, so that I left today feeling like confident going into Sunday. And that's why I'm not so sure with that 50% performance. However, if it was their intention to completely dominate, control the game, and then take the chances when they intended to take those chances, then I feel like we have faith. And I still do think it's going to be a really great game. It's going to be super tight. Obviously, it's against Liverpool. But I feel more confident having sat and digested my thoughts after the game, as opposed to how I felt directly after.
Yeah, fair enough. Think we'll win?
Yeah, come on, you Gunners.
Agreed. Many thanks, Tanvi.
Thanks, James.